Can you help MJ Today Daily grow our audience? Just find us on iTunes and leave a rating and review. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Tuesday, September 19th, 2017, and you're tuned in to episode 333 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. Our top story of the day is the request made by California state lawmakers at the end of last week to the federal government to reclassify marijuana from its current position as a Schedule I drug, the most restrictive of all the classifications used by the government under the Controlled Substances Act. The state assembly voted on Thursday by a vote of 60-10 to adopt a resolution reading in part, quote, "The legislature urges the Congress of the United States to pass a law to reschedule marijuana or cannabis and its derivatives from a Schedule I drug to an alternative schedule, therefore allowing the legal research and development of marijuana or cannabis for medical use," unquote. The resolution had previously passed through the state Senate by a vote of 34-2 and under state law requires no additional action by Governor Jerry Brown. As such, the text of the resolution will be sent to President Trump, Vice President Pence, the Republican leaders of the U.S. House and Senate, as well as California's U.S. Senators and House Representatives. Swing over to Tom Angel's piece in Forbes for the full read, as well as for a link to the full text of the resolution. The University of Maryland School of Pharmacy is backing away from previously announced plans to offer a course to medical marijuana industry workers on the best practices for growing, processing, testing, and dispensing medical marijuana after the school's legal team consulted with the state attorney general's office, which warned that it could be in danger of breaking federal law. The courses were originally set to begin in August and would have used curriculum developed by the good folks over at Americans for Safe Access, a nonprofit organization focused on advocating for patients' rights. Had the Maryland courses happened, the school would have become the second accredited educational institution to teach the curriculum, joining the University of Vermont's Larner College of Medicine, which first offered the class last spring. Our final top story of the day is a chart over at Marijuana Business Daily that should be seared into the brains of anyone in the business of marijuana cultivation. The chart shows the two overlapping trends of the number of licensed cultivators in Colorado and the average market price for wholesale cannabis flower. As you might have guessed, as the number of growers has gone up, the price of cannabis has gone down. Starting in January of 2014, there were 192 registered cultivators in Colorado, getting an average of $1,876 per pound of wholesale marijuana. In July of 2017, those numbers changed to 690 registered growers, getting an average of $1,298 per pound. With the trend for both numbers seeming to continue in their respective directions up and down, it'll be interesting to see if and when they start to plateau. All eyes should be on Colorado for this one. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz out on headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, MJ Today Media, publishers of this podcast, our weekly show Marijuana Today, and the popular MJ Today Media newsfeed. We design all of our publishing products to complement each other here at MJ Today Media, which means that if you tune in to all the things we do, you're pretty much guaranteed to know all the things you need to know about the legal cannabis news flow. And beyond that, you'll have an understanding of the context of the news, the full set of facts, history, and current circumstances that put all the stories and headlines in the right perspective. That's really important because if you don't have the right frame to view the news through, you'll miss out on vital bits of information and knowledge that could prove super valuable to you in your professional work. Get hooked in and connected to all the things we do by opening up mjtodaymedia.com. That's mjtodaymedia.com. All right, time for the blitz. Nothing like waiting until the last moment. That seems to be the story of the application process to become a licensed medical marijuana cultivator and dispenser in Arkansas, as THV11 is reporting on long lines to turn in applications to the state's Medical Marijuana Commission on the last day to do so. And from the numbers, it sounds like it'll be a competitive process with up to 100 applications filed for 5 cultivation licenses and around 200 filed for one of 32 dispensary licenses. We'll certainly report back on this story as it moves on. Speaking of deadlines, the state of South Carolina is giving its farmers an extra week to apply to grow hemp under a special pilot program allowing them to grow at least 20 acres of the industrial crop. State agricultural officials are cutting farmers slack due to the impacts from the remnants of Hurricane Irma, which caused serious flooding statewide. As Denver works to enact the nation's first legal public social marijuana use system, a shortage of applicants stepping up to apply has largely greeted the city so far in the face of a raft of overlapping and onerous regulations and requirements. But according to the Westword, that situation appears to be changing as a business calling itself Vape and Play has announced plans to open up the city's first public social use lounge. The entrepreneurs behind the effort have yet to secure a location, but say they hope to be open by early next year. The state of West Virginia will need around $2 million in startup funds to get their medical marijuana system up off the ground, according to Dr. Rahul Gupta, Commissioner of the State Department of Health and Human Resources Bureau for Public Health. Dr. Gupta testified yesterday to state lawmakers about the costs and said that the money should be structured as a legislative loan to be paid back later from licensing fees generated from the industry. Swing over to the West Virginia Gazette-Mail for the full rundown on this one. As always, we have all the news we cover linked to on our website at mjtodaydaily.com and on our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily. Tom Angel over at Forbes has another story in the top 10 today with his in-depth interview with our friend and noted activist Shalene Title, a regular on our weekly show Marijuana Today and a newly installed member of the Massachusetts Cannabis Control Commission. Make sure to swing over to this one for the full dive in. Alan Brockstein from New Cannabis Ventures wrote a good piece in Leafly about the 5 things to make sure you consider before investing in legal marijuana stocks so as to not get scammed. I myself have one rule, and that's not to invest in legal marijuana stocks. But if you have a healthier risk for the gambles of investing in legal pot, then it's probably not a bad idea to open this one up for the full read. And finally for today, the aforementioned New Cannabis Ventures has a useful story up looking at some of the numbers and stats from the new California market report from BDS Analytics and the ArcView Group. The report looks at how the state's cannabis consumption market is segmented by ingestion method and suggests booming submarkets in concentrates and vape pens in particular. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again tomorrow morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our Twitter account at MJTodayDaily and visit our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. Thanks to our sponsor, MJ Today Media, and to all of our awesome patron listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the illustrious ranks of the patron listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in and starting your day with Marijuana Today. Today.
One take, Shay. One take.